Yes, a very beautiful morning, and of course, welcome to another edition of Political Perspective. On the program, we go beyond the headlines to understand the stories shaping our nation. My name is Florence Ibhareman, and of course, with me on the program is Akin Adebayo, our in-house analyst. Good morning, Akin Adebayo.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the program this morning.
It's
And to our listeners, good morning as well.
It's always a pleasure having you in the building.
Thank you very much.
So today I want us to take a quick dive and look into something very different. Of course, analyzing what the paper is saying. Yes, one of the things we saw this morning was the fact that there's a consensus call for governors trying to tighten the grips of Senate tickets. Now, looking at that, a fresh report indicates that no fewer than 10 state governors and former governors are actively influencing and repositioning candidates for Senate seats in their state. This has been done largely through consensus arrangements within party structures, effective sidelining some incumbent senators and aspirants, with about 12 governors completing their tenure for 20 by 2027. Many are now shifting political focus towards consolidating influence over who emerge as parties candidates for the National Assembly. Now, with all of those twists now, what do you think is going to play out at the end of the day?
Thank you very, very much. I think I must start by saying that in the Latin panel, they will say that God catch them.
Okay.
God has caught the senators when they were assenting to all manners of bills being proposed by the president. I remember vividly that there is virtually no bill that is being sent to the National Assembly. For Jack Robinson, it has become law, even without consulting their various constituencies. Why were they doing all this? Is because they all believe that that come 2027 general election, that it's possible that the president might give them direct tickets and stuff like that. And that was the carrot the president actually dangled before them, and they all fell for it. When the Electoral Act was being amended from the conventional way of doing things then via delegate election, primaries conducted via delegate primaries, delegate election and stuff like that, to direct and consensus, what were they looking at? Why did they assent to that consensus electoral act amendment? It's because they believe that anything the president says becomes authority in various states, because they all know that the president is somebody that is politically awoke. Let me put it that way. That his political sagacity is, in fact, is a top notch in this country. That is a master strategist that no doubt is going to give them the ticket for the Senate and House of Rep membership, what the case may be. And that was why you see all of them, or you saw all of them jumping ship, governors, senators jumping ship to the all ruling party. Now the president has achieved that. And let me tell you this, in all this, the only person that seems to be favored in all this permutation, calculation and what have you is the president. Because as it is now, is going to be the sole consensus candidate for the presidency on the platform of APC. The president now went ahead to say that that all state governors should be in charge of their state. There should be, if a senator, House of Rep member, go and meet your governor. And when they are passing these obnoxious bills, let me put that, I'm trying to say that's something. Most of them had issues with their governors, thinking that nothing will happen. Now things are happening. And that's the major problem here. And look, either they like it or not, the governor remains the number one person in their various states. And allowing the governor, or allowing a consensus primaries or direct primaries, as the case may be, the governor knows the terrain, is in charge. So he's now the all in all. And I've always said it, this governor, they are so powerful that the governor knows who become the senator, the governor knows who become even the president. As the president is now, if like 20 governors should back out from APC and try to become to another party, you should forget 2027 general election. Governors are so powerful to that extent. They now become the president, they now become the vice in some cases, they now become the senator, they now who goes to House of Rep, they now who become commissioners, they now become chairman of board, parastatals, ministries and departments. These are the people now that the senators want to come and contest with. And either we like it or not, the Nigerian political terrain is so funny that you can jump from one. Look, the only arm of government that is yet to be abused is the judicial arm. And it's because it is strictly for the lawyers or anybody that studied law or is a practicing lawyer, as the case may be. If not, let me assure you, this politician, they would have equally influenced it. And I don't not even influencing it in one way or the other. But they cannot just, you cannot just wake up one day and say you want to become a judge. No. But I can assure you, as long as we continue with this way of our politicking and politricking, governors will continue to dominate the political space of the various state and national level. Now, back to the question. You know, the Senate is the retirement home for an average governor. I've seen instances where senators became governor. After 8 years, he returned back there again as senator in the same country. For instance, Sedake Dixon was a House of Rep member before he became governor. After that, he now became governor. He now went back again to the Senate. Yari of Zamfara, House of Rep member, also a senator before he became governor. After that, he returned back again to the Senate, now to the Senate, as the case may be. So I'm not surprised if the only person that actually lost out from that politicking there was Liya Limoke. He was a senator, two-time senator. He became a governor. He tried going back to the Senate. He lost the election. So most of them have seen the Senate as the retirement home. There's nothing bad if you're in the Senate and maybe for the next 20, 30 years. There's nothing bad about that. There's nothing bad about that, really. But the question is this: what is their performance in that Senate? What have they been able to achieve in that Senate? What legislation have they been able to push and pass in that Senate? These are questions begging for answer. So either any senator likes it or not, like I've said, the president has achieved his own aim. He has now thrown his the senators under the bus. That is how it appears to me. Because they never believed that the president will allow the governors to dictate or to determine who becomes the senator.
So if we're going to look at the political implication of all of this now, is this in any way strengthening party unity or even weakening internal democracy?
Well, let me tell you one thing. These people, they know how to go about some certain things. In an ideal society, it will weaken the party structure. In an ideal society. But I can assure you, it is only in Nigeria that you promise some other thing. Don't worry, if you read that Senate, I can always. The president knows how to talk them out of such things. But the president needs those governors more than the senators.
So what will happen if a sitting senator falls out of favor with a governor?
Well, you know, like I said, does the sitting senator have the political wherewithal, financially, structure-wise? It doesn't. It doesn't. And let me tell you one thing. Which point do you even have to challenge a governor, a sitting governor? Except you're a former governor. Even as a former governor, you may not even have the financial muscle to tackle an incumbent governor.
So now, is it safe to say that political party has now become more of a loyalist to political structures than their actual performance?
Of course, that has been the tradition for some time now. So we simply mean that the governors actually, you know, like I've always said, I was on a sister program yesterday and I said, we don't have political parties. All we have are just politicians. That is why it's very easy for you to jump from party A and go to party Z and you see align very well. Because they all have the same ideology. No difference. They are all the same. Look, forget about the rhetorics of this one. No, forget about it. We've been hearing those rhetorics for some time now. But when it comes to implementation of policies, you discover that these people, they are all the same. We only have politicians against the Nigerian masses. Forget about the issue of political party. They all have the same ideology. You see, not until we begin to have independent candidature, that is when we can begin to have formidable forces. That is when we can begin to have people that, candidate that people actually voted for. But as long as we are still operating on this same political party of a thing, forget it. That's why it's very easy for any person to jump from any party to another. So the governor is the commander-in-chief of their various states politically. Because they know the terrain, they have the money, they have the structure and what have you.
Okay, looking at public concern now, people are of the opinion that incumbent lawmakers may be displaced not by voters but by party decision.
Yeah, you see, one thing is this. those senators that are there, what have been their performance? If they've really performed, I can assure you, if they go to another party, people will still follow them and vote for them. It is because they know that they have not performed up to expectation. That is why they find it difficult to go to another party to contest. Must they contest another party? No. The window is still open, maybe still on the 15th or thereabout, for them to jump ship to another party. So the very minute you discover that maybe your governor has muzzled you down, and if you are convinced that you've done something that can make people to vote for you again, go to another party. But they know they can't, because they know that they've not done something reasonable that can convince people to actually vote for them. If really you know that you've really done well, you can go there to another party and contest and still emerge. But they know that they've not done anything. That is why they are all jostling to remain in that party, to hold on to the ticket of that party.
So how does all of this favors the masses?
The masses? Well, in all of this, there is nothing. I mean, the masses are not put into consideration here. It doesn't favor us in any way. A governor that was there that performed very little, that's why the finances, that's why the money that's being accrued to the state. We didn't have anyone that get to Senate and will not perform. Or a senator that has been there for years and years, you cannot even pontificate at what he or she has done, except for some very few. And look at this one, for instance. I'm just mentioning her name, Natasha Akpoti Odwan. I think she went to a school around maybe our axis here. After doing some certain things in her senatorial district, she came to the school she went to and did something there.
She has obtained a form.
You understand? These are the things. So of course, we see there are some people that have actually performed. That no doubt they push to go out there and vote for them. The last of Alain Dume from Borno State is one of the senators that people actually, these are the things. But back in our Ondo State, I look at the entire 3 senators. I don't know. The House of Rep members, I don't get it. Well, these are the things. So if indeed you are convinced that you've done wonderfully well, that if today you decide to go to another party, that people will vote for you, give it a try. But they can't. That is why it's sort of them running to the ruling party, assenting to all manners of abuse. All because they want that favoritism from the president, that okay, maybe the president will give them automatic tickets.
Okay, I think we have a call already. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name?
Yes,
Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Hi, Power. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
Okay. This is Benro from Nimura.
Good morning, Barry. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you, Mr. Akin. Yes, the school you want to mention is Duani, where Natasha came out. So, Duani Secondary School.
Thank you very much.
That's what she went to. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank
so,
you
really mention our 3 senators in Ondo State. What of our governor? So, when you are mentioning senator, who among them? We have a governor spend a year and 2 months in Akeredolu regime. All those periods, the ongoing projects still continue. After another tenure. So what is there not to say the same situation? Go to Jokana, Kurego and take the flu after protest, a lot of protests. Now they are just doing it one and where please, God will help us. Maybe I will have to come back as we continue the program. Thank you, sir.
Thank
You're
you
most
for your
welcome. Thank you.
contribution. Thank you.
You see, Benro has been a very good contributor to this program. I really want to appreciate him. Yeah. You see, from what he just said, he's expressing frustration that, he just said we'll call back later. And to a large extent, he's correct about it. But look, you see, for instance, if somebody like, let me mention these people that I want to contest now. The state of Ogun State, Dr. Abiodun and Benga Daniels. You see, 3 of them are friends. I'm talking about Benga Daniels, Dr. Abiodun, and Ibikula Mosun. Now, Ibikula Mosun first of all went to the Senate. He came back, he became the governor. Benga Daniels became governor. After that, he went to the Senate. Unfortunately, Benga Daniels now, the person I want to contest with him is the incumbent governor, the person of Dr. Abiodun. And to a large extent, Dr. Abiodun has really tried, going by what we can see that he has done. In that same Ogun State, we have the likes of Yayi Adiola. He was a former House of Rep member and a senator from Lagos. He now transited to Ogun State. He's serving senator now. He's not the consensus candidate now for governorship. You can see the way these people are just changing position. The same old wine, in new bottle. So we simply mean that the very minute you have a governor that is not performing as expected, if after his 8 years you want to go to Senate, he won't do anything. But if you have a governor that is performing as a governor, be rest assured that if he gets to the Senate, he might even still do little. But if you have a senator that is performing as a senator, if he becomes the governor, like, but people are so much expecting a lot from Adiola now, that by the time he becomes a governor, because that guy has really he has done wonders in Ogun State via that senatorial position. So if such person now becomes the governor, we should expect much from him. In all this, we still have some people that are still very much okay, that still know the art of governance, that still know what to do and what not to do, that are still affecting the people with their policies, that are still affecting people with with their goodwill and stuff like that. But it's just 1 out of 10 in most cases. And that's where the problem is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Of course, the program is still Political Perspective on your darling station, iPower 102.7 FM. Yes, we would go on a short break. When we come back, we're going to touch light on another topic this morning. Yes, glad to have you back. The program is still Political Perspective, your window to wider explanation of what the paper is saying. So today on the Punch newspaper, I saw this headline and I felt the need for us to talk about it on the program, about a certain man of God, an Apostle Irene, facing backlash over tribal analogy in his sermon. Now, something around the fact that maybe the Yorubas, in quote, often spend more apart parties. Okay, let me just take a look at what it says. Founder of Celebration Church International, Emmanuel Irene, has come under criticism following a viral clip from one of his sermons in which he made a tribal analogy while speaking on prosperity, culture and personal values. In a circulating video, the clergy emphasized contentment and spiritual identity over outward display of wealth, noting that appearance can be misleading. So now, why are they dragging him for this comment?
Thank you very, very much. If you look at it very, very well said, very clearly, we're speaking on prosperity, culture and personal values. The difference between prosperity, culture and personal values.
All right.
You have a prosperous and still not have personal values.
True.
Yeah, of course. Depending on how you go about amassing your wealth. Take for example, somebody that is drug trafficking. He has discarded personal values just to make that money to be prosperous. Or somebody that is involved in counterfeit production of goods that people will still consume, either consumables, either drugs or medication or what have you. At the expense when people are dying, what you all are after is to make that money. That person can be prosperous, then not having that cultural value. But cultural value and personal value comes in when you put into consideration every of your actions and inaction, the ripple effect of the people that are going to, that's going to affect. So that's where the issue of cultural value comes in. But when it comes to the issue of prosperity, being hard work, and maybe just being flamboyant, then that's a different case entirely. So you must try to understand the perspective at which he's speaking from. But when people want to criticize anything that to do with cultural beliefs or religion, people try to narrow it down to their own interests, and that's what the problem is. Take for instance, you should not deceive yourself. An average Igbo guy that you will still see in a very rough knicker, looking on Cape Town, what have you, might have a well-swollen account, might be doing wonderfully well. Give it to them. Now, let us get about maybe the source and what have you. Do you understand? Okay. But the Yorubas, I'm a Yoruba man, so I'm obsessed with myself as well. Before the Yoruba man has little change, you will know. And that's our culture, or that's our own way of life. The Yorubas naturally we are flamboyant in nature. But is it having effect on our finances? Yes. It is in Yoruba land. I'm a Yoruba man, so people should know the person that is speaking. I'm a Yoruba guy. We don't mind celebrating parties virtually every weekend. It is in Yoruba land that you will see us, we celebrate parties on Thursday, on Friday, and on Saturday. That is Yoruba man for you. And based on the little money we are having, It is in Yoruba land you will see us obtaining loan to celebrate burial. No, this is annoying. I'm a Yoruba man. I will continue emphasizing I'm a Yoruba man. We borrow money at times, of course, some might borrow money to invest, but you will see that whenever I come to the issue of this burial in particular, personally, I get pissed off. There was an instance of a friend of mine, a female friend, because of she want to do better of her father, and she already given birth to 3 children to a particular guy, but find they're no more together. And apart from those 3 children to that guy, she did not have any other child anywhere. She was not dating somebody, not that she's legally married to that person. She was dating that man, and the guy bought her a cow. I was in the party. Now those 3 children went to see their father. When they now called on their mother, the man was now going with the 3 children to go and spray money in Yoruba. Trust me, Yorubas. Immediately the woman saw him coming with those 3 children. The woman gave the musician instruction that he should start praising her to the town or to the village of the person that gave her cow. The question I now ask is this: is one cow more important than 3 children? The man just has to turn back with his 3 children back to his seat. It could be as bad as that. On Thursdays, if you should see the way people are running scatter to pay up their loans, no, this bank loan, I won't want to mention their names, because if you see them being dragged, you'll be amazed. And I've now asked the question: this money they are dragging you for, what did you use this for? Is that not stupidity? People will go extra miles just to make sure that they celebrate. And like a musician once said, late Binga Debe said, "Ba ṣe ń péjọpọ̀ ṣe òkú, ká ní pé bẹ́ẹ̀ la ṣe ń péjọpọ̀ tọ́jú aláìsàn ni aláìsàn ò ní máa kú." I'm not saying we should not celebrate our dead, but we should not go the extra mile of even borrowing money. That is what an average Igbo man will not do.
Okay, let's just leave that topic because there is more than meet.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Looking at this headline that says a soldier assaults journalist over traffic disputes in Lagos. Okay, now the journalist Olalekon has gone to explain what happened, stating that he was in a tricycle when the soldier was assaulting another person in another tricycle. He just made a comment which was, this thing you are even doing is actually creating more traffic. The other soldier heard him and was trying to challenge him and all of that. Before you know it, he got himself a slap. Now he's complaining and actually saying his encounter of what happened. What do you think is wrong? Did the soldier in discharging their own duty, did they overdo anything, or did him, Olaliko now, needed to just mind his business like an average Nigerian, or was he right to have said what he said?
Thank you very, very much. Number one, the journalist is right to have said what he said.
Okay.
Number one, he's a journalist. And aside being a journalist, the Bible called established that we should be our brother's keeper. Now, for the journalist to have actually asked him that, why are you assaulting this person? And moreover, even the assault now led to the extent of causing more traffic on the road. And as we all know, Lagos is always a very busy road. Now, somebody is now causing traffic up because you want to enforce a particular law. Or because you want to enforce a traffic law, as the case may be. Or because you want to enforce traffic law. So by so doing, in the course of doing that, it brings about another additional traffic. So in summary, all you just need to do is to make sure. Now, ideally, as a citizen, you have the right to protect the interest of a fellow citizen, particularly when he is being threatened or when he is being assaulted. And that is the exact thing that journalist did. So to a large extent, I think he is right to have done what he did. But as the case may be, for the soldier to have assaulted him again, or because he spoke out for a fellow person like himself, then I think it is wrong. And you see, I've come to observe one thing about these people in uniform. The very minute an average Nigerian puts it on this uniform, either is in the police, navy, army, air force, or as the case may be, it's like they feel that, okay, they can do and undo.
Okay, now do you think the soldier in question would get any penalty for what he did?
Well, it depends on how I was able to capture the whole thing.
Yesterday they celebrated WordPress Day.
Yes.
So, and I think this has been gaining attention here and there. especially the way the police assault people they have not yet convicted as criminals. So do you think at any point in time this particular case would not be swept under the carpet?
Like I said, it all depends on how the capture the guy is able to get. If, for example, maybe there's a the video coverage that actually pick the scene, then it can be prosecuted. But if that is not there, then I'm sorry. It's over. Look, you know that most of the cases that have been prosecuted is because people actually videoed or did the coverage of the event. This is evidential. And before law, you must be able to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. The very minute you don't have a convincing evidence to actually nail the culprit, then I'm sorry. In Nigerian system, in fact, it's gone. But if you have your evidence, which is more video of a thing or probably a picture that is not doctored, then it can be pursued. You can fact check it. Most of the cases being prosecuted against maybe our men in uniform are the ones that were actually caught on camera. So the very minute they are not caught on camera and you go back to make one report, maybe you know even when you know the person, the officer's name, the very minute there is no evidence, maybe even if you have the evidence on video, if it has not gone viral, I'm telling you it will die natural death. These people, they knows how to cover their tracks. They know how to cover for each other.
That reminds me of the happenings in Delta State. I think the issue has gained so much clarity, even though as of now it's almost like a stale news, but still in the news. Talking about how the guy was gruesomely murdered in broad daylight. What do you think would have been done differently if the officer in charge, Usman, wasn't power drunk?
Well, like I've said the other time, an average person in Nigeria, an average uniform person in Nigeria always feel power drunk. That is how they are wired, and the very minute they get power drunk, you expect them to misbehave at any point in time. And the case of that Delta is so pathetic. But let me tell you one thing: had it been there was no video coverage, that issue would have died in natural death.
It actually did die because it happened on a Sunday, but came to light on Tuesday.
Exactly. He never even knew that someone was even covering it. If he had known, I can assure you, he wouldn't have allowed it, because something happened around 2002 or thereabout. A woman was coming from the church with her son, and maybe it was the era of 2020 naira that were collecting 20 naira then. Okay. And the officer now collected money for 20 naira, and the driver said he doesn't have the money. I don't know what ensued. Do you know the guy was killed? And the officer went as far as saying that the guy was a drunkard. A boy of 13 years old with the mother. It was mother, and I said, but as that then, we've not started using videos the way we are using it now. The case died in natural death. So what I'm saying is that the case that happened in Delta, had it been there was no video footage, it would have died a natural death.
Talking about this police case now, I saw a video yesterday where a 16 years old girl was held in the police station because they couldn't get the parent. Something happened, and it was now the community that were clamoring and saying that why would you hold a 16 years old girl in custody because you can't find you can't find a parent. Now, do you think when it comes to police education, awareness and all of that, do you think they do a lot to really educate these persons before they have the uniform on?
One thing is this: most of the police that are equally engaged in various security architecture are educated at they. And even if they are, like I've said, the very minute someone puts this on that uniform, an average Nigerian will get intoxicated at a various space. That is one. Secondly, that is why the issue of education comes in. People go to say education is scam. Education is not scam. Education makes you to be informed. If it were to be the parent of that girl that committed the offense that the girl is being detained for, the very minute they came around to make arrest, and maybe somebody there now begin to quote the law that says that, because it has now been amended, that never again should a person be arrested for an offense committed by another person. It's right there in the criminal code. I've forgotten particular section. But is anybody that's actually involved in that act that should be arrested? Before now, whenever police want to make arrest, maybe they come looking for someone's husband is not, they arrest the wife. They come looking for the wife, they arrest the husband. Or maybe they come looking for his son or a daughter, the case may be the child, they arrest the parent. But the new police act and the new criminal act code now has not said that, look, you no longer should you arrest any person that did not commit, rather investigate and arrest the person that actually committed the offense. So at the point of arresting that little girl, had there been some people who are there and I say that what you are doing is wrong? Is it the person that committed the offense? Why not wait and arrest the father or the mother that committed the offense instead of arresting this girl? I can assure you, they would have at that point in time stopped that arrest. So we simply mean that apart from the police being educated, citizens as well needs to be educated, particularly on some fundamental principles of law. We should have an idea of it. If you have an idea of it, I can assure you there will be a check to all these activities. Because let me tell you one thing, an average person in uniform in Nigeria, despite their level of power intoxication whenever they're in that uniform, by the time you meet somebody that understands or knows little about what is obtainable in law, or maybe the act they are about to carry out, they will exercise a kind of restraint.
I think even talking about that, I've come to understand most recently that once they're trying to, interrogate persons on the highway, for instance, the moment they cite the fact that the person is wearing a camera glass, they tend to want to act in accordance. Does that imply that if we had a situation whereby we had cameras planted on the streets, we would have a better society with a serene behavior?
Honestly, that would have been the best thing that can happen to Nigeria.
Because the moment there's a sight of camera anywhere, everyone wants to act accordingly.
Accordingly, yeah. Like I said, that would have been look. For instance, in the American and European countries, why do you think it's not easy to go away with crime? It's because everywhere is being monitored. Even in Lagos, should I tell the simple truth? Where that incident, the incident between the journalist and the military officer took place, Ogba. If there's a video camera there, a CCTV, it will definitely pick what happened there. And when such thing happens, that man is in for a real trouble. Why do you think criminality has been checked in Lagos? Because Lagos now is being policed every year here and there. So, do you know that even if there's camera in your street, there'll be a limit to what people will come and start doing there, as when it comes to criminal act. So, by the time everywhere is under surveillance, I can assure you, it will reduce criminality to a very large extent.
Let's quickly take this one because it's everywhere in the news now. This is headline is saying that Peter Obi ignores ADC policies to focus on 2027 ticket, and that's from Abdullahi. How true is this? Because he recently got the what's it called now? The form for the other party, NDC. So how true is this?
Well,
and do you think anything can happen? Talking about him and Kwankwanso now.
This Abdullahi, I want to know, is it Bolaji Abdullahi, the ADC spokesperson?
Yes, Bolaji Abdullahi.
Oh, okay, that's very good. I think, let me not come from, because actually I wanted to come from two different angles.
Okay.
That if Abdullahi is not saying this, or Peter is not saying that he left ADC because of its policy, the question is
the word is even ignored.
Didn't he know before going to ADC? Peter Obi was coming from LP. I think it should have equipped himself with what's actually obtainable when it comes to ADC. You understand?
Okay.
So if he's one saying that now, that maybe because of what is obtainable, that's where then he has no excuse because he must have known. But since it's coming out from Bolaji Abdullahi, which is the spokesperson for ADC, and that is still in ADC, the question is this: what is the policy, or should I say, what is the policy focus on 2027? I think Bolaji Abdullahi would go a long way in helping us to understand the policy focus of 2027 tickets. That is where we can now know. Maybe we can now actually stand the policy. And the question is this: did they inform him of the policy focus on 2027 before he joined their party, the ADC then? So we really need clarity on this matter. Bolaji Abdullahi should endeavor to make us to understand what is the policy of 2027, because we all know that ADC is a SPV, special purpose vehicle. I wouldn't want to mention names. You understand?
Okay.
Is Peter Obi aware of this before joining ADC? And is it now that they just formed that policy, or it's before Peter Obi got there? So Bolaji Abdullahi really needs to furnish us with the policy of 2027 tickets before we can now know maybe indeed Peter Obi has the right to actually jump ship.
It's actually saying that ADC favored Peter Obi more than other aspirants. Maybe his point now should be that he shouldn't have left for the NDC. Is that
You know what? Let me quickly come in here. You know that the ADC party
okay?
has not actually come out with a clean sheet of what they actually intend to do. They've been dancing around some certain things. And I think for Peter Obi to have left there, he must have seen the particular red flag. And of course, everybody that went to ADC then, particularly maybe Peter Obi and Atiku, wanted to vie for the presidential ticket. It's as simple as that. And since he knows that this may not favor him, then he has the right to go to another party. So as an individual, they have the right to jump ship. But the question of, their loyalty to party now comes to play here. That is why an average aspirant should have done his or her homework very well before going to another party. Peter Obi left APGA for PDP for Labour Party for ADC, now ADC for NDC.
Okay, now very quickly, now talking about the northern Nigerian divided as Obi and Kwankwanso Flauta joined NDC ticket. Do you think the aim of actually joining this NDC is going to be achieved via those two?
You see, when it comes to media optics like this, you need to be very, very careful.
Okay.
Do you understand? Not what they call it, not Kinikon divided, not Nigerian divided as will be. Look, an average northerner wants. Take for instance, let's do the calculation this time around. Now, Tinubu, a southerner, has already spent 4 years. If peradventure Peter Obi now emerges again, you must spend another 8 years, calculate it. Do you think northerners will be able to exercise such patience for another 8 years? They are desperate. Had it was Kwankwaso that is going to fly the NDC ticket, then I can say that okay, they can be divided between Kwankwaso and Atiku. Because number one, now Atiku is the first born of northerners, Kwankwaso is the second born. But now, Peter Obi is the one going to fly the ticket of NDC, and Kwankwaso will be his running mate. I don't see any division in northern Nigeria, except maybe at the north central. But when it comes to northeast, northwest, it's going to still be a block vote for Atiku. She should not deceive herself. So that is just your calculation. So if at all Atiku will be able to contest, I'm not even now we want to vote Atiku rather than voting for Peter Obi of other southern extraction. When Tinubu already spent 4 years. So they will now prefer maybe okay, let Tinubu just spend another 4 years and after that you can now come again. Because that is when it will be more clearer. Northern cannot wait for another 8 years again. No. All they can wait for now is another 4 years. And if Peter Obi is trying to tell them now that okay, maybe we spend 4 years and leave, we all know that there is no political arrangement or agreement anywhere can be flattened at any point in time. So they won't fall victim of such political rigmarole. So the idea of saying that Northern Nigeria is being divided and what have you, to me, it does not hold water. People are just speculating. So that is my submission about the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. The program is still Political Perspective on your station, iPower 102 to 7 FM. We'll be right back. Yes, before we call it a wrap on the program today, we want to quickly look into this headline that says that Play 2 target 50,000 digital jobs. How realistic is this?
Well, it is realistic, but I think this government should be more serious with the issue of security than digital job.
Okay.
The people you actually want to train for digital job and what have you, how secure are they? On their way to work and they'll be killed. Or maybe then there are various houses and they are killed before the following morning. So we should learn how to place the horse before the cat and not the cat before the horse. In as much as I support the idea of digital job and what have you, if you had even said digital security, it should have sounded more reasonable to me. Because of you putting in place digital security, you are equally creating jobs. But saying digital job to achieve what? It is when you are alive, that is when you can be engaged in digital job. So I think the government should be more serious and particular about digital security, information gathering, intelligence gathering. Through that is digital something. not creating digital job. So if he let his digital job is intend to creating, let it revolve or let it be built around securing the Plateau State. And that is what can be reasonable and responsible for the Plateau State indigenes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that insight. Yes, let's have your parting take, Akin Adebayo, before we call it a wrap on the program.
Thank you very, very much. Like I've always said, let us just endeavor to do the right thing. If only and only our leaders, because that is where it must start from, not from citizens. No. Some people now agree with me that their own opinion, but this is my own opinion. You don't lead by order, you lead by example. So let our leaders start doing the right thing. And of course, we too in our own various space, we should endeavor to do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Akin Adebayo. And of course, like Akin said, everyone should do the right thing. Yes, I know the government has what they need to do as government. We ourselves, as members of the society, should also do the right thing at every point in time. And like he said in one of his words, he said we should be our brother's keeper, just like the journalist did, trying to look out for the other person. So yes, that is where we'll draw the curtains today on this edition of Political Perspective. Of course, trust us to come back next week for another insightful and educating part of Political Perspective on your darling station Power 102.7 FM. Yes, many thanks to everyone that has worked with us on this production. Many thanks to our general manager, engineer Paul Oluto, and of course to our regular that called on the program, and every other person that ensured that this program is a success. Until we come your way again, same time, same station, I implore you to please stay informed, because informed citizens actually build stronger society. My name is Florence Ibhareman. Do have a pleasant day.